Hey guys, welcome back to Sheri. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, welcome. Thanks for clicking on this video. And if you've already been a part of the Sheri family, thank you so much for joining me again today. Today's video is a little bit chill because the Sephora Spring VIB sale is here. And quite a few were messaging me on Instagram and DMs and so on, asking me for my recommendations, what I'm probably buying. And there are like literally, I don't know, hundreds, probably thousands of videos on YouTube by now talking about, what people are buying, what their top recommendations are. I don't want to bore you, but I just want to give you guys a couple of tips for shopping the sale, things that I do when I'm shopping the Sephora VIB sale, as well as look at a couple of things that are probably on my wish list, as well as the types of things that I actually do recommend that you pick up during the sale. So just in case you don't know, Sephora has a sale twice a year, usually in the spring and then one just before Christmas. They have different tiers in terms of different percentages that people will get off their purchases on the Sephora.com website, and that actually depends on your status. So the highest level is Rouge, and that just means that people spend way too much money at Sephora because to get to Rouge status you need to be spending $1,000 per year on Sephora. So Rouge members get 20% off. Then the tier below Rouge is VIB. Those people will get 15% off. And again, you also have to be spending a certain amount of money. It's nowhere close to $1,000 though, but you do need to be spending a certain amount of money to get that level. And then anybody, whether you've purchased before or not, you're just joining today, you can actually sign up on Sephora website. You will become an insider and you will be able to shop the sale and get 10% off your entire purchase, which is excellent because Sephora barely has like site-wide sales like this, so a lot of people prepare. In fact, the times that I actually do most of my Sephora purchases are during the sale. I will only pick up something otherwise if it's like limited edition or something that I really wanted, or I ran out of something that I absolutely had to get that I couldn't wait. That's probably when I'll pick it up outside of the sale. But in general, I do all my purchases during Sephora sale simply because quite a few of these things you may not get on sale at another time. So it's a really good time to take advantage of that. So the sale starts on April 1st. So when this video goes up, the sale would have started just a couple of days ago and it goes until April 11th. Rouge members will get to start shopping the sale for a couple of days before everybody else, then VIB, and then insiders get to join on. Something else that's really important to know is that the Sephora collection, which is their own line of skincare and makeup, will actually be at 30% off for everyone. So you don't necessarily need to be Rouge or VIB to get a 30% off, and you could actually start shopping that part of the sale from the beginning of the sale. You don't need to wait until your chair is allowed to shop and all of that. You don't need to wait for that. Everybody can get that 30% off, which is excellent. And I will be talking about some Sephora collection products that I actually recommend. So here are some of my tips, especially for shopping the Sephora VIB sale to really get the maximum benefit. One, although you are going to be getting a discount based on your tier or your level in terms of your Sephora account and all of that, make sure to use a cashback website. So on top of the discount that you're already getting, you can get an additional discount in terms of cashback. So what will actually happen is that you will get an overall better discount on your purchases than just purchasing with the Sephora discount code alone. I always do that, and that cashback adds up. There are several cashback sites. I will include a couple in the description box below. If you have not signed up with any of them, just choose one, go sign up, check it out. What you need to do is make sure you log in first to your account on the cashback website. Go in, search for Sephora, find the Sephora link, click it, and when you click it, that means that once you purchase now from the link that will open up, your total purchases will be accounted for and you will be able to get that additional percentage back through your cashback account, whichever one you decide to use. The second thing is I always use the sale to pick up big ticket items. And when I say big ticket items, items that I may have been having my eye on, but they are really splurge items, probably not necessarily needs, but things I've probably been desiring for myself, want to give myself. I will usually pick those up during the sale, especially if it's in my budget. So maybe it might be a very high-end perfume or makeup from certain brands that you probably otherwise wouldn't purchase at full price. Hair tools, things like that. Now is the time to do that, and especially when you know the sale is coming up, you can prepare and plan your budget for it so that you can get those items at a discounted price. The next tip, and while I'm talking about the Sephora sale, really doesn't have to do with Sephora, and that is pay attention to the items that you actually want to purchase. So there are some brands that actually do have their own websites, and sometimes brands will run their own sales. So let's say you're not at Rouge status to get 20% off. There are certain brands that might have sales where you will be able to get 20%, probably even more. So if you pay attention to those brands who run their own website sales, you could probably not pick up those items during the Sephora sale, wait for the brand sale to get an even bigger discount. I actually do that for certain brands, especially if you're not at Rouge status, to get that 20% off. Now, usually during the sale, I like to pick up brands like Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath, and I highly recommend you do, especially if this is your opportunity to do it. However, Pat McGrath in particular actually runs some excellent sales on her website. You can actually get 25% off, 30% off on a lot of her items when she runs her sales, which will be even more than purchasing from Sephora. So just be wise and figure out where you're going to save more money. And I guess it also depends on how quickly you actually need something to determine whether you buy during sale or you're going to wait for a particular brand sale. What I also do is I actually start paying attention to what I might want from months before. So on Sephora's website, there is a loves list. So usually if I see a review for a product that really piques my interest, I will go add it to my loves list right away. When I see new product launches, if I see something again that I might be interested in, I will go on Sephora's website, add it to my loves list, because it may not be something that I might be purchasing right at that moment, but I might consider it during the sale. What this does is that it populates my loves list. So when the sale comes around, I can just go there, edit to see what I want to add to cart, what I want to take out, what I really want to buy, reevaluate what I really want to get in the sale. And that really gives me an excellent starting point rather than just scrambling through the website and trying to figure out, oh my God, what do I want to buy, and becoming very overwhelmed. I'm literally doing all the work beforehand. So it's really just to add to cart and check out. Something that Sephora has been doing for the last couple of sales that I've noticed is that they are putting their entire Sephora collection on sale during the VIB sale, and everybody gets that bigger discount. So if you do like any of the Sephora collection items, I highly recommend waiting for the sale and picking them up during that time. There are a couple items that I do love, and as I mentioned, it's 30%, so that's going to be a huge discount to get on those items. Another thing that I actually do during the sale is I check out Sephora's sales section. So beside the regular website, Sephora has a sales section that always actually has items that they are discounting. Maybe it's items that are going to be discontinued, or they're running a specific brand sale, and that can change and vary from time to time. There might be items that I might be monitoring in that sales section, and I actually keep them in my cart so that when the VIP sale starts, I actually get an additional percentage of those already discounted items. So definitely check out the sales section if you haven't been checking before. You can actually find some gems, some restocks in there, and get a bigger deal. I like to pick up a lot of complexion products and probably higher end brands on Sephora during the sale. But then you're saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to be spending money. I have no idea if this is going to match me. I have no idea if I'm going to like this. And how do you do that, Sheri? So what I do is I do a lot of research on YouTube. Look at people just like myself, people who probably have a similar skin tone, people who have probably similar skin types, listen to their reviews, look at their demos, and I actually use that to help build my list, especially for complexion products. This actually also helps me to choose foundation and concealer shades. So on Sephora's website, when you are going to choose a foundation, they do have like a foundation match guide where you can put in foundations that actually match you, and then they can tell you in other brands what your shade is going to be. I actually just take that with a pinch of salt. It has worked for me a couple times, but other times not. I will use the shade that they generate as a kind of narrow down, and then I'll go and check how that shade looks on people with a similar skin tone like mine to figure out whether I need to go lighter, darker, or if that particular shade is going to work for me. There are other sites like foundation.com that you can also actually use. So again, I will put all these tools together to kind of determine what shades I buy, because in general, almost all the foundations I buy, I have never tried before, and I'm basically eyeballing my shade, right? So, and then I also realized that there are some foundations that might really grab my attention. I might really want to use it, and then I wonder, is it going to work for my skin type? And there are foundations that might look absolutely beautiful, but they may be applicable to certain skin types. So pay attention, because you need to consider skin type, you need to consider the conditions where you live to see if it's going to perform the same. So do all that research before the sale so you know exactly what you want to get. And finally, before I go into some recommendations, have a budget. Have a budget. Now, if you're fortunate to not necessarily need to budget, then bravo, go brave. you know, do your thing. But I will just recommend that you have a budget, because right now my cart has like way too much in it. I'm definitely going to have to edit that before I check out with the actual products that I'm going to purchase, and hope I don't need to add anything else. But definitely have a budget and try to stick with that. It's going to really help you, especially if this sale is usually like a treat time for you. Yeah, you'd want to take my advice because you don't want to have any regrets after. What items should you pick up? Definitely, if you know you are a person that likes higher end foundations and concealers, this is the time to do it. One of the foundations that has been my ride or die and still available on Sephora.com is the Lancome Teint Idole. I usually use the sales to restock on that foundation, because that's the foundation that I use whenever I have a special event. I need to do a wedding, a photo shoot, a red carpet, whatever. The Lancome Teint Idole is always what I gravitate to. If there are other high-end foundations that I like, I will also restock during the sale, especially if I need it. So I definitely recommend that one. Another one that I recommend that many skin types could actually use is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. Another foundation that I've loved since I've gotten it. I actually have 2 shades because I tried to eyeball. The first shade I got was too dark, but I love the formulation so much, I bought a lighter shade to mix. So I still have in that foundation, and the bottle actually looked as though it was a little bit small, but it actually goes quite a long way. And this is a foundation that is actually used by makeup artists on actual production sets and so on. It works fantastic under humidity. The foundation is super lightweight. It wears beautifully on my oily skin. I love how that foundation holds up even under sweat, and I have tested it under sweat. The other thing about that foundation is that it could be used on multiple skin types. The only concern that I have is for people who are sensitive to fragrance, because it does have a floral scent. It doesn't bother me, but keep that in mind, because if you are sensitive to fragrance, this one would not be for you, and I'm so sorry that you won't be able to try it, because it's such a fabulous foundation. And for Dior is like $40, I think, or maybe just over $40. It is a fantastic value and a fantastic price. Now, something that a lot of people don't necessarily think about picking up during the sale is eyeshadow primer, and that's because a lot of people just use eyeshadow base. So this part of the video is really just to talk to my girls with oily lids like myself, and you're looking for something that real best and you want to pick it up from Sephora. There are 2 that I recommend that I have been purchasing and repurchasing for years. One is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer portion, and the other one is the NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base. I believe those 2 are phenomenal if you have oily lids, and they last so long. So maybe one of those will last me an entire year really before I have to repurchase. They last really long, and either one of those, whichever one you pick up, is going to be a great choice. Now, the big ticket eyeshadow palettes are definitely the ones that you want to pick up, something that you probably had your eye on, and now is the time to do it, unless it's a brand that you know is going to have a brand sale. Then if you want to wait, you can. But things like Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, probably even the bigger Huda Beauty palettes that are very popular, now might be the time to get it, unless you actually want to wait for brand sale. If you wait, you might actually get a bigger deal. So let's talk about setting spray, because you notice that I'm talking about the essentials, the things that you will actually be using quite often, the things that you love, that you absolutely need in your makeup or skincare collection. And I highly recommend that if there is a setting spray that you really love, now is the time to pick it up. The latest one that I purchased from Sephora that you guys saw in my last haul was the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Satin Spray, and guys, I have been in love with that satin spray. I use that both as a satin spray and as a makeup primer, and let me tell you, together, using it in both ways, when I'm using it, I use it first as my primer and then as my satin spray. This thing just allows your makeup to just gel together so beautifully. I do have it on my face today. It makes such a difference, and I feel that sometimes you don't see the difference until a few minutes later after you sprayed it on. And it's really set, like, oh my goodness, your makeup just looks so beautiful, and it looks like that for a very extended period of time. This one is not necessarily an oil control setting spray, although I do find that I will get those benefits in it. I just find that it is an overall really good setting spray in terms of locking your makeup in and allowing it to last longer than it would without it. For powders or bronzers in that category, this is something that I definitely recommend you pick up from the Sephora collection. The Microsmooth baking powder is such a wonderful formula. I always restock on that powder. In fact, when I look at my cart this morning, my all over face shade was showing out of stock already. Usually I will have to check back the sale a couple of times, because there are some items that might sell out and they will restock it before the sale ends, but I definitely recommend that. And guys, the shade that I picked up the last time, shade 70 from that collection to bronze or contour, that's actually the shade that I'm wearing today. I have been obsessed with it. And the Sephora collection powders at $20 US at full price. You're going to get 30% off that. It is a fantastic deal for such excellent quality. I love that shade, and when I first got it I didn't think it would work for me. I thought it was going to be too dark, but it just looks so gorgeous on the skin and the blendability of those powders. So those are some to look at. The Sephora gel serum concealers are concealers that I have actually used for a long time, and people don't really talk about it anymore, but it's such a good formula, especially as I'm getting older, especially as my under eyes are a little bit drier and I feel that I want more hydrated concealers that are not necessarily going to be moving up and all of that. Such a good formula. So look at it, because you're also going to get that 30% off. When it comes to powders as well, I mean, if you do have a favorite powder that you need to restock on, now is a good time. But one of the powders that I would recommend that you look at is the ambient lighting powders. They are pricey, but it's only when you put it on your skin as a finishing powder you're like, wow, they just make your skin look so beautiful, and you will just wonder, like, how could a powder make such a difference? They just reflect the light of the skin in the best way possible, and they are pricey, but they are so worth it. If you could figure out your shade, whether you want a shade to be a finishing powder, but they also have bronzers, they have blushes, and I have been able to get shades in the palette that I actually purchased to go really well on my complexion. The shade range is not the best. I will definitely agree, it's not the best, but if you can find one, you will not regret that purchase. Brow products is something that a lot of people also stock up during the sale, especially if your brows just love higher-end products. The other day I tried, because I got a new one of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and I was just like, what was the hype about this again? Because everybody is raving about it back in the day. But in terms of my brow recommendation, I'll definitely recommend the Benefit products. Those remain my favorite, and if I do have to pick up a the product that is more high-end, I'll definitely pick up the brow pencil, the pomade, and their gel, their brow gel. Those three products are excellent. Now, you guys might be surprised that given that I talk mainly about skincare, I haven't recommended any skincare products, and that's just simply because while I used to purchase a lot of skincare from Sephora, I have been purchasing less and less skincare products from Sephora, because I have just found products that are much more affordable that are giving me fantastic results. But once in a while, I will pick up something, especially if there's a lot of hype or a lot of recommendations for that product. And one of those products was the Paula's Choice 1% Retinol that I picked up in my last haul. I am currently testing that product, and I have been using it for about 6 weeks. Guys, I can tell you it is an excellent retinol product. This particular retinol formula actually contains quite a few different things. It's really a retinol product that packs a punch in terms of the ingredients that it has, because it's actually formulated with vitamin C and peptides and some other ingredients that you may not necessarily be able to use together in separate formulations. But because it was formulated together, it was formulated for those ingredients to work together. So if you really want a kind of all-in-one retinol product, I will recommend it. I won't be repurchasing it because it is $58 US. It is pricey for a retinol product, and I get the same results from cheaper products, but it is good. Don't get me wrong, it is an excellent retinol product. If you've had your eye on it and you've been wondering, especially for the pricier items where you can get the bigger discount now, definitely pick it up. So I know this video is already really long, but I just want to go through very quickly what are some of the items that I have in my cart right now, the cart that needs to be edited, just to let you guys know what I'm actually thinking about picking up in the sale. I'll probably be checking out later today, and then when my haul comes, we'll definitely talk about that. But of course, I actually do have the Sephora collection, the Microsmooth powder in shade 35, because that's the one I use for all of my face. So I actually go through that more quickly. I do have that in my cart. I will not necessarily need to pick up any other shade now, because I do have, like, the bronzer shade is brand new that will last me a long time, so I don't need to pick up that. Then there is a brand that has been highly talked about recently, and that brand is Merit. And I wasn't going to pick up anything from this brand, but then I saw one of my favorite YouTubers in terms of looking at things on her skin, and she was doing a video, and I was like, what is on her lips? I scrolled through her description box only to see that she was wearing a Merit lipstick, and I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this, because it just looked like the best nude shade on her ever. And this is their signature lightweight lipstick, so I might pick that up because I haven't purchased a regular lipstick for a while. Something else from the Sephora collection that is so good is their lip stains. Guys, they are $14 US, I think, for one. I could be wrong because the price may have gone up, I don't know, but you're going to get 30% off, and that formulation is so good. That's the formula I'm actually wearing. I'm wearing shade 04 on my lips today. And if I tell you guys how old this liquid lipstick is, it's too old. It's a few years, and I've been seeing people talking about how they've been throwing out their liquid lipsticks because they haven't been wearing lipsticks over the last couple of years, and their lipsticks have dried out and all that. And guys, I have not worn this shade in so long. Perfection. The formula has not changed. It smells the same way from way back when. I am so impressed, and these lipsticks, these liquid lipsticks from Sephora collection, are so comfortable. In fact, I'm thinking that I probably should add some to my cart. Excellent formula, great quality, great price. The next thing in my cart are a couple of products from Lys Beauty. Lys Beauty has really been getting my attention, and I've had some of these things on my loves list for a while. I also have their bronzer because I believe I got it in an Ipsy bag, and the formulation of that bronzing powder is so beautiful, and that just increased my interest even more. So I do want to pick up their Triple Fix Brightening Concealer, their Triple Fix Setting Powder, and as well their foundation, because I've been seeing excellent reviews. So I'm looking forward definitely picking up that. I do also want to pick up one of their cream blushes. The shade that I want to pick up, I think they described it as a kind of corally peachy color. It's called Classy. I think it's one of the new shades that they just released, and I'm seeing that it's sold out. So I hope it comes back. So I do also have a couple other complexion products in my cart. Yeah, so a couple of them are concealers. So I also do have the Dior Backstage concealer because I love the Backstage foundation so much. They have the concealer now. It's a new release, so I definitely want to try that. I do have that in my cart. And I also want to try two complexion products. One is the Beauty Blender Bounce Always On Radiance Skin Tint. So my friend Trisha was like, Sheri, I think you need to check this out. So I do have it in my cart. But if you do want a nice skin tint product from Sephora, highly recommend the Fenty one. Excellent formula. But if you don't want to get a skin tint product that is high-end from Sephora, pick up the L'Oreal Hyaluronic Tinted Serum, guys. That is just best, and that performs very high-end. So that's the only reason why I'm doubting myself as to should I spend the money on the Beauty Blender one. But we'll see. And the other complexion product that I do have in my cart right now is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Longwear Foundation. Lord have mercy. The reviews on this thing has been driving me crazy, so I want it so bad. Hardest thing for me was to figure out my shade because I was like in between 3 shades I was looking at. I finally settled on one, and I hope it works. Even if it turns out to be a little bit too light, I do have a Makeup Forever, one of their color drops, so that I could probably adjust it just in case. But I really want to try that foundation, so I'm going to get that. I was also interested in a new NARS light reflecting foundation, and I had it in my cart, but I was going back and forth between the two. And then I think the NARS might not hold up so well on my oily skin, so I took it out. I hope I don't regret it, but yeah, I took it out from my cart. A couple other things I am looking at is the KVD Beauty The Good Apple Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer. I do have that one in my cart, but I'm thinking I will take it out because I do want to pick up the Dior and the Lys, and I also got several new drugstore concealers earlier this year, so it's way too many concealers. Way too many. Tarte also has an Amazonian Clay Cheek Palette. It's an all blush palette with 3 blushes. And the Tarte formula, guys, when it comes to blush, this particular Amazonian Clay blush formula is excellent. I have some of those blushes like several years now. They wear all day on the skin, and it's been a while since I picked up a product from Tarte. I'm actually thinking about it because it's 3 blushes for $35 before the discount. So I think it's a good deal. I'm not sure if I'll keep it though. We will see. And then I'm also looking at the Makeup by Mario, the Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. Now, I absolutely do not need this, but I've just been seeing too many really good reviews that everybody's like, you need it, you need it. I don't need it. I have all those shades, I'm sorry, already, but I haven't tried his formula. So that's the only eyeshadow palette I'm thinking about picking up. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you do want to pick up one of the Natasha Denona, the Glam Face palettes, remember I picked up the light and dark. I have been getting used from both of them, but would you believe that I've been reaching for the light more than the dark? It is so wearable for day and night. I just reach for it, I grab for it. It's so easy to use. If you are my skin tone and you're going between trying to figure out which one you should pick up, yeah, I will say pick up the light, surprisingly. A couple other things that's in my cart. Yeah, this video is just getting way too long. Is also from the Sephora collection, and their Microsmooth Multitasking Baked Face Palette is finally back in stock. I've been trying to pick up this for 2 sales now. It has like a couple of blushes and bronzes and stuff, I think highlights in that Microsmooth powder, and it's a really good price. I think it's $20 for the entire palette plus 30% off. Definitely want to pick that one up. I also have the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Matte Setting Powder. I have not picked up one of these types of powders in quite a while, so I'm looking at this. It is $37, so it's pricey, but I do have in my cart. I'm looking at that. I was also thinking about picking up the Hourglass, the new primer, the Skin Vanish, because you all know that the original Hourglass primer is my holy grail when it comes to primers, especially if I want to use something high-end. That's what I use for events and so on. Has never failed me for years, and Hourglass came up with this new primer, so of course it caught my attention. However, the reviews that I've been seeing is mixed, and it is pricey. It's like $56, I think, for that primer. So that's, even with the discount, it's still quite a high price. So I'm not sure if that one is going to remain in my cart. And then, of course, the Sephora sale, like I mentioned, is excellent for picking up fragrance. So there are 2 fragrances that I'm looking at. One is the Burberry Her, and not necessarily because those are, notes that I will gravitate to, but just because some of my favorite YouTubers have been raving about it and saying like, this is the perfume you have to have. So I am definitely thinking about getting it. Yeah, the perfume that I have my eye on to pick up during the sale is the Valentino Born in Roma perfume. And I think they have like a really nice bottle for 80 something US dollars. But I saw they also have it in a set where you get a bigger size plus like a purse spray for 115. So that's an even better deal. So that one is in my cart, and that is going to be my big ticket item. In general, that's kind of what's in my cart right now. We'll see when I check out tonight what I actually purchase. I can't wait to share with you guys what I pick up. I'd love to hear what are the things that you will be picking up in this Sephora sale, what you're looking at. Leave comments down below, because maybe there's something that I didn't think about that I probably should look at. The sale goes on until the 11th of April, so we do have some time left to pick up something in the sale. This is the time if you want to do it. And don't forget to do that cashback to earn a little bit more. Pick up stuff from the Sephora collection, get that extra 30%. Treat yourself and enjoy. I'll see you guys in another video soon. Take care. Bye.